Pure joy. Pure joy. Pure joy.
All right, we're going to rock and roll here in the Joy Lounge. Welcome to PJ's Pure Joy Podcast. I want to thank my sponsors, of course, Americans for Prosperity, who gives us a voice in the legislative process and a platform so that our voices and our concerns can be heard in policymaking, so that we can protect our freedoms, so that we can protect our economic prosperity. So thank you, Americans for Prosperity. And then also Bizly app. Bizly app is an incredible app that has every type of software any business, any entrepreneur would ever need, all in one place for pennies on the dollar. So be sure to check out bizlyapp.com/PJ and take a little tour, do a little demo, and then pass it on. So thank you, Bizly app and Americans for Prosperity. And I would like to announce and make sure everybody puts on their calendar right now to join us, to connect with your community and connect with the Declaration of Independence to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. That event, the Declaration Connection, is going to be at McKee Ranch on April 18th. See you there. Be there or be square. So my next guest is an amazing, intriguing young man who has an incredible network of legal specialists and legal assistants for people in the community who have been hurt or have been in an accident or need legal assistance. So Dave Kohlmeier is the problem solver Vegas. So welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank
And tell everybody how you started and why you started this network of legal assistants, legal specialists.
First of all, thanks for having me here. So I'm glad to be here. Second of all, I'm laughing because you're saying I'm a young man in general. I'm getting
Yes.
old. I'm actually turning the 50, basically April 19th.
Wow,
So
April
I'm getting
19th, the
old.
day after our event. So we'll have to celebrate you when you come out on April 18th to the Declaration Connection.
To the event, yes. And then, so I'm saying that I'm celebrating my 40th plus 10.
There you go.
It's
That's
kind of-
funny. I always tell everybody that, because I just turned 63, and I tell people it was my 42nd anniversary of my 21st birthday.
It's funny. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting old. I came out here originally when I was 26. I was a police officer
26.
for 17 years. I was a cop basically in NYPD for 4 years. I worked 9/11, and then I came out here. I was a police officer in Henderson. I did 13 years there, and then I was able to retire. I actually medically retired. I had some stomach surgery. It happened to be a good time to get out. I had my first child and started working in law firms for the 11 years after I retired from policing. So it's been 11 years since I've been retired from policing. The name of the problem solver is basically a nickname of mine, but what happens is some of the police officers in Henderson were making fun of me for the fact that the joke was I'm trying to solve everyone's problems. So hence I basically became the problem solver, right? Now in New York City, when you became a police officer, the goal is not always to arrest people, it's to help people with their problems. So I kind of brought that mentality to Henderson and to help people, because you're not always arresting people, but people have problems and
Right.
they need their problems to be solved. And my goal was to basically go above and beyond to help people. And I always felt if I dress up like Superman, I might as well be Superman to help people. And the other strategy is that if I fix their problem, I don't have to come back to the location again and again and again.
Right.
And the joke is I can go get my coffee and donut and I don't have to go back there all the time. So it was basically being smart with my time. So with that being said, I retired from policing and then started working. I started first working for the Las Vegas Defense Group, which was a criminal defense firm.
I remember meeting you back then.
And then from there, basically, people get arrested. They would come into the office, and I was the operations and intake and a case manager. And people that got arrested are always in a lot of distress.
Yes.
Their car got towed. They got arrested. They lost their job. Right? There's a lot of problems. Getting arrested is just one aspect of being arrested, but there's 50 other problems that come with it. Right.
Right.
Especially if you get arrested for domestic battery. Right. Your loved one, your kids, your family. They don't want you to live there anymore. Where you're going to move to? Where's your family? How much money you got in the bank? A lot of problems arise from being arrested or getting involved in an accident. So for 4 years, I was there doing the operations and helping people. But the one thing I noticed was that it was hard because a lot of people that get arrested don't really have the financial means to hire an attorney, a good attorney in general, a private attorney. So it was always difficult to get money from people. And I always felt that it was just a difficult category of legal. And I realized that personal injury and car accidents was better because people don't need money to basically hire a personal injury attorney on the most part.
Right.
They basically can go in, they get signed up, and they get paid when the lawyer gets paid. So if the lawyer wins, they win.
Right.
And it doesn't cost them any out-of-pocket money. It's just your signature on that retainer. So I felt this was great because there was a lot more money and you were helping people more and they didn't have to come up with any money.
Right.
So it was a lot easier. So I said, we need to basically do both at Las Vegas Defense Group. So I started bringing in personal injury and becoming educated about how to help people with car accident cases and injured on the street or the sidewalk or wherever they may be. And my goal as a retired police officer, aka the problem solver, is to help people get justice. And so 4 years there, and then I wound up going over to the Defenders, which is a private criminal defense law firm as well, which was owned by Richard Harris.
The Harris, I think that's where I met you, actually.
I did 2 years there, and then I went 1 year on my own. I created something called Las Vegas Legal Network, which was a network of attorneys, is how it formed. You know, even though I'm the problem solver, it was more of a network in general. So if you call me that you basically getting a divorce or you probate, someone passed away, you need a will, right? I had a network of different attorneys that I trusted, that I liked, that were willing to work with people, right? Because people, financial stress, right? So I would call the lawyer and say, look, I have this guy, he just lost his job. Could you work with him? Could you help him? Could you do the traffic ticket for free? Could you help him with this, right? Like kind of like pay Peter to pay Paul. Help this guy out, but I'll make sure I send you more business. Because even though it's business to the attorney, my main thing was I'm helping people as well. So it was kind of a mixture of things that were going on. And then I worked over at the Hadari Law Group for about 2 years doing operations there and, you know, business and marketing and things like that. And same thing. My mission's always been helping people, though I was at 3 major law firms and created my own network. And now basically I created what I call like the Problem Solver Network because it just became I became more known as the problem solver, and that brand kind of like took off more. And people will call me with any single problem that they have, whether it's they need a dentist or they need a mortgage or they need a realtor. Now, predominantly, I do deal with more car accident victims and people that get arrested because it's kind of like in my wheelhouse of the last 11 years, plus as a police officer for 17 years, all I dealt was with car accidents and people getting arrested. So it was kind of like what I've always been doing. Now I'm just not in uniform, but I'm basically doing that whether in a suit and tie or a t-shirt. So at this point in time, the problem solver is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, myself, other retired officers that will answer people's questions or concerns in regards to problems, and then we'll refer them to different resources, or if they need a lawyer, or sometimes there's a lot of resources that people don't know about, right? If you lose your job, like who do you call, right? You need money. Or you have a problem with your neighbor, right? Who do you call? Most people don't know. So resources like the Neighborhood Justice Center, which is free for mediation, that will help anybody.
Neighborhood Justice Center.
Helps people for free. Then we have certain attorneys that will do pro bono free stuff as well. Then you have Nevada Legal Aid. You have the Senior Law Center, right? Most people just don't know. They don't even know to call 311, which is the non-emergency number, or 411 used to be information. But there's another number, which is a good number to tell people, is 211.
Oh, yes, resources.
Which is United Way, which is all kinds of resources. Whether you're homeless, you need diapers, you need programs, summer programs, like 211 is the main number. But I don't believe that we know about the number. Like, we're not educated enough from the community of that number to call.
And if they're really functioning, and if they're really helping people, if they're really answering the phones, that kind of thing.
So I try to refer people. People do call me. I get about 5 to 10 problems a day where people call for different things. And my goal is to basically help them and be there for them. And it is a high for me to basically help people with problems because I feel like most people just don't know where to turn to.
Right.
They don't know where to go to. And my goal is always to refer. I'm not an attorney. I never accept any money from anybody in regards to legal services because I'm not an attorney. I'm not a document preparer. I never work in any documents. I'm never doing any of that. I'm almost like Angie's List, right?
Yes.
But the problem solver network is basically just to help people. I even have some dentists where I'll say, like, look, I'll send you more dentist business, but this guy has no money and they need a tooth removed. Right. And the dentist will come forward and do that. And I'll try to get him some, whether it's some social media or I'll put him on a podcast, right? So I'm really going above and beyond trying to leverage my influence of helping people, but I'm also trying to refer them regular business as well in order for them to help the people that need help at that crucial time.
Right. So you're finding specialists for people that can actually help them with the problem that they're having. Humanity is so vast. The problems in humanity are vast, right?
Correct.
So tell the audience and our viewers one of the most fulfilling cases of that you've helped somebody with.
I think that all these accident cases that I deal with are very challenging. I always say it's like a bad game in order to get justice. And a perfect example is, someone gets into a car accident and they go to an attorney, and the attorney will, sometimes the salespeople that are there at the intake will tell them anything like, don't worry, we're going to get you a car, we're going to get you money, we're going to get you health care, we're going to get you all these things. And then a week later, their case gets dropped and they're not told that the case is bad. They're just like, you know what, we can't work on this case, or we don't have enough people, or they're kind of led down in general. And the problem with it is that the reason why the law firm does that is because they're afraid of a liability. That if they say it's a bad case and they really is a good case, it's a liability. Maybe they just don't have the time, the manpower, the money. Maybe they don't like the case for whatever reason. So they call it a drop letter. You get dropped. I'm
sorry to interrupt you,
jump
but
in.
I have heard so many times, so many people that have put out money for retaining attorneys, and then the attorney never even shows up for them, but their money's gone.
I've heard these stories too. I mean, some lawyers, believe it or not, that are out there have problems in general. Just they're regular people, just like a police officer, right? Just wearing a badge and a uniform. A lawyer as well could have some problems. I've heard some lawyers, whether they've been disbarred or they moved to another country or they receive partial retainer, but they don't call people back. I mean, like I said, I always say it is a bad game in general, sometimes dealing with, whether it's a lawyer or whether it's a dentist, right? Like there's different customer service. It's still a business, right? So that's why, at least with me, the people that I know that I trust people like that, because I can reach out to the attorney, or reach out to the dentist, reach out to the mechanic and say, look, can you help them? Like people that I trust, And then if they do something bad or not good in regards to customer service, I won't send them any other business. So I'll say, look, can you take care of the guy, or take care of the windshield, or help him with the tire, or help him with the dentist, or help him with this, right? Or can you eat that cost for this time, and I'll make it up with sending you other business. So it does work with the relationships that I have, which is great. But like I was saying in regards to the drop letter, when people get the drop letter, they're upset. The lawyer basically told them they're going to help them, that all their problems are going to go away, and they're going to solve all their problems. And it's really kind of a sales pitch in the beginning.
Right.
And then when they get dropped, they don't know what to do. Who do they call now? They just thought this lawyer was going to solve all their problems, and now they're gone. And all they get is a letter in the mail, no explanation. They don't explain why. And they just say, like, we can't handle the case. And now you have to go out and try to find other lawyers. And every lawyer, every billboard lawyer that's out there doesn't deal with every single case. Right. If you slip and fall, every billboard attorney does not specialize in slip and fall cases. They may take the case, they may ship it out to another attorney or someone else, but not every attorney is the same, and every case is different. So the bottom line is, I'm always trying to find out the best lawyer. Like the other day, someone called me and they were from Vegas, but they moved to Texas. So I have an attorney that basically practices in Vegas and Texas, and I'm like, can you help them? And I know them. I've done lunch with them. I like them. They're a good person. And so they'll get signed up, and if there's a problem with communication, I'll reach out to them and say, look, they're trying to call the office. Can you call them back? So I'm kind of like that liaison in the middle, right?
That's
I'm not giving legal advice, but I'm kind of, what I say is I'm kind of like a victim advocate for that person, helping them through the process. But people that get dropped are upset. They don't know where to go.
Right.
So sometimes I'll send them to 2-3 different attorneys and say, pick who you like, pick who's best for you.
Right.
It's not one specific attorney. So the goal basically is to help them and help them understand the real behind the scenes of what's taking place, meaning that the lawyer is dropping it because for some reason they don't want to work on it, or they think that you're liable, or something came out, but doesn't mean you can't go to another attorney, because some people, they just give up. And a lot of people, like these days, they just give up and they don't realize they can go to another attorney. It's not going to cost them money. Some people also can intimidate certain people, or they're intimidated because they are an attorney and they think like, oh, I can't do this because the lawyer said this, the lawyer said that, right? So there's a lot of things that go on, and I basically try to help them, decipher what's going on, not giving specific legal advice, but basically guiding them where to go, what to do. Just like Neighborhood Justice Center. Nobody knows about it. It's free. It's through Clark County. If me and you have a problem, as long as we agree, we can go to Clark County Justice Center. We can get free mediation. They'll draft a document. And basically, if we agree, we both sign it, and it's valid in court if we don't follow through on that contract.
So it saves people a lot of aggravation,
and money.
Time and money.
Because you could spend money right now to hire a mediator. You could hire a mediator for $2,500 or $5,000. They're doing it for free. You just don't know about it.
Right.
And the lawyer's not going to tell you it's free either, right?
Right.
So the other thing also is, two big things, is document preparers. Document preparers are licensed in the state, but not every document preparer is the same. Some are better than others. Some may be using ChatGPT. Some really know what they're doing, but they're just helping you fill out the documents, not giving legal advice. So that's one form of basically helping people as well, is finding a good document preparer to help you save money. You can't get specific legal advice, but if you're telling them, I want a will, I want to trust, there's certain paperwork that you could just get done and basically get, whether it's notarized or get submitted, that you can do that without an attorney charging you maybe 4 times the price. But some lawyers are very good, but not everybody could afford all these lawyers. It gets expensive, right?
It does.
The biggest things you asked me before, my biggest high
Most
these
fulfilling,
days.
yes.
Most fulfilling. The biggest thing, and I know you're familiar with it, what I mentioned is there's something new these days that people don't really know about, which is legal membership protection plans. It's kind of like when you go to Costco, right? You can go buy, pet insurance for your cat or your dog, but legal membership protection plans is something new that people don't really know about, but they don't know how to work it. And what I mean by that is the following. If you get a letter in the mail where basically someone says you owe money, or you need a lawyer for something, or you have a problem, or there's a cop at your door, these legal membership protection plans are very affordable and helps a lot of people in the beginning stages of certain things that take place in their life. And then if they need a will or they need a trust, things are included. So it's very affordable, basically like $1 a day, $1.20 a day. And it's a month-to-month legal membership, and it's in 40 different states. It's actually in every state, but there's 40 law firms that cover all the states. And it's the initial legal help, because these days, if you contact some attorneys, they'll say, if you meet with me, I'll charge you a $500 fee up front. But when you meet, it may not be something that he even practices, and you lose that $500.
Right.
So having some unlimited legal help in regards to conversations and phone calls and some documents is a start. But for $1 a day or $30 a month or $50 a month, it's a great start for people, especially when they can't afford, people in the legal world. They can't afford the $5,000 lawyer or a $2,500 lawyer or a $1,000 lawyer. So people need legal protection just like you need car insurance. But legal membership protection is cheaper than car insurance, or cheaper than a lot of things. So these days, I am educating people that, look, before a problem hits you as the problem solver, a lot of people call me when they have the problem. I need you to be preemptive and get a legal membership protection plan so you can use the legal membership when you have that problem. And we spend $30 at Starbucks these days. Right? You go to Dunkin' Donuts, my kids, $42. But meanwhile, I don't have a legal protection plan. If a cop knocks on my door, or I get a letter in the mail that I'm being sued, or I get into a car accident and I need help, basically you need a legal membership protection plan to help you and your family, because it's very stressful and financially a burden if you basically have to pay a lawyer $2,500 or above.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So again, all these resources, right? Lawyer, legal membership protection plan, the network, you're getting my experience as a cop for 17 years. And even though I don't practice law, when I was a cop, I was actually the law itself, right? Going out and arresting people, right? You did a crime. This is the law. I take you to jail, right? Or I would tell people the same thing. So I'm doing the same thing as a police officer using my experience. The difference is, as a police officer, you're not really allowed to refer to certain attorneys.
Right.
Where now I'm allowed to do that, or I'm allowed to say, start with, the legal membership protection plan, then maybe start with the mediation neighborhood justice center, and then maybe get a document preparer, or then maybe get a lawyer. So sometimes you have to do things in steps so that you don't get taken advantage of the system. It's not a financial burden, and at least you have to play the game in a certain manner. And that's where I'm educating people what to do, not giving legal advice, not doing any legal paperwork. And again, I don't accept money from anybody whatsoever as the problem solver. My goal is always to connect people, and I do have sponsors that sponsor the Problem Solver, which is a podcast, and the network itself to basically help people.
So you're basically just providing direction so that they can save themselves money in the long run.
Absolutely.
That's to sum it up, right?
Yeah, and my goal, I always say as a retired cop, my goal is always to get people justice, and justice can come different ways. It becomes legal matters. And believe it or not, I have people that call me where they're being blackmailed. I have people that their neighbors are doing like unusual things where they're trying to poison the animals that are, in general, because they're barking and stuff like that. So there's a lot of little things that basically are being done. And sometimes, how do you catch that person? And a lot of times police officers can't give all the strategies on what to do. And there's certain strategies, as me being a retired police officer, that you can use that are all legal,
Sure.
But people don't know about it, like Crime Stoppers of Nevada. Anybody can call anonymously and give information of a crime that's being committed or someone's drug activity. People don't know the phone number to call. People don't know it's anonymous. You actually even can get paid for your tips. If the arrest is made, you can get paid up to $2,000. Oh. But there's strategies by using Crime Stoppers in Nevada. But there's strategies that you could use Crime Stoppers to basically help you if you have a community problem, if you're part of an HOA, if you're part of a neighborhood watch. But people don't know how to use it. And the police officers are not fully educating the public of how to do it.
Are you doing any educational programs through the police departments?
Recently what I was going to do more of is speak again. Like I used to do the Neighborhood Watch program as a police officer in Henderson. I used to go out and speak to seniors and so on. I am doing some more. There's a senior expo that takes place every 2 weeks. There's a senior Expo that have different booths, and I'll probably start speaking at the seniors because a lot of scams that are taking place with seniors.
I got scammed really bad. I got
think you
scammed
mentioned.
and hacked.
So there's a lot of problems that are going on with scams. There's also identification protection programs as well, as you know, of that help people. And these days with AI, technology, criminals in other countries, even locally as well, are taking advantage of seniors by calling up and saying you won a prize. You just have to pay the tax, the shipment. It's $1,200. We're going to drop off your brand new Mercedes tomorrow. Sounds very, very believable. Can you just quickly, confirm your last four of your social security number? And I just need your last four of your visa.
Yeah.
So the scams sound very, very good, especially with AI. And they can be also using your voice as well and copy your voice.
Right. Getting people to say the word yes, and then they use that yes for other things.
Yes. And that's the problem. And the problem these days is like when someone calls you, they'll say, hello, is this PJ? And what do you say? You say, yes, can I help you? So these days I'll say, no, this is Jeremy. Can I help you? Right? Like I'm not saying yes, I'm saying no. And then I'm saying it's Jeremy. I'm saying someone else's name. And then sometimes you hear them click the phone because they're trying to get to David. They're trying to get to me in general.
Right.
So you have to be extremely careful with the phone calls. Remember, people that call your phone are a stranger. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
People at your door are strangers.
Right.
But we take it for granted, especially as a senior. We get a little bit older. Maybe we get a little bit slower as well as we age. We're not thinking that way. They sound really, really good on the phone. And people call me. I tell people all the time, call me. Let me verify who they are. Get me their phone number. Let me speak to them. Let me do a three-way phone call. For any of my seniors out there, I'd be more than happy to review. If there's something in the mail, like a scam or paperwork or a phone call, let me get on the phone. Let me tell them who I am, which I'll say I'm a retired police officer. I'm friends with this person. How can I help you?
That's wonderful.
And then they'll disconnect.
You'd make a great mentor through Hope for Prisoners as well.
I'm familiar with the program. I met with some people as well. I just never got a chance to follow through with that particular program.
We should get you in there.
Yeah, I've spoke to
Tuesday
a
nights they
few
do
people.
they do a mentor huddle.
Yeah.
Kind of see what it's all about.
I did a lot in community policing. So I did, the Dreams program, which was there prior to it. Did the Neighborhood Watch. I helped homeless, community outreach. So the truth is I'm doing a lot of the same stuff that I did as a police officer, but not in uniform these days. So the problem solver.
A lot more direction.
Yeah.
A lot more direction.
And I'm allowed to basically speak freely because you're not allowed to say everything when you're a uniform officer, as a public information officer. You have to say things very specific.
That's wonderful. A lot of people need a lot of help. So we're going to wrap this up with a call to action. What would you say people can do to protect themselves other than before they call you, other than of course, the legal protection plans? Give us a call to action and how to get in touch with you.
So the first thing is anyone that wants a free 30-day legal membership protection plan, I'd be more than happy to offer anyone that mentions your podcast, PJ. All they have to do is give us a call. Our main number is very easy. It's 702-999-1111. That's
999-1111. How much easier could that be?
So the police is 911. The problem solver is 999-1111.
I love it.
And then just mention PJ, and we'll give you a 30-day legal membership protection plan. We can come to your home. You can get signed up. You can come to it. We have an office at 95 and Jones. So that's the call to action today. Anyone that wants their free plan, I'd be more than happy. You can test it out for 30 days. You can get a will. You can get a bunch of things, God forbid you get a traffic ticket or something like that. They'll take care of it as well. So I would love to set them up. You also can go to the problemsolver.vegas.
Theproblemsolver.vegas.
Which is an app you can add to your home screen on your phone. And there's different resources that are there if you want to get connected. Or you can mention what problem you got, whether it's a dentist or you got arrested or something happened. You can click a few buttons, and then one of our problem solvers in our network will give you a call. And the goal is to help you and be out there. So I appreciate anyone that wants to share this information.
I know that we're trying to get you connected with somebody with a wrongful termination and sexual harassment on the job. And there's all sorts of different things you can help with. That's wonderful.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of these things are, like I say, it's a bad game in general, but I try to refer people to the right places. And hopefully one will work than the other and to get people help.
So if you need direction or if you need connections, we've got that for you. Dave Kohlmeier, the problem solver. .Vegas. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for helping the community.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's really important niche that you've got. I really am grateful for the help that you give.
Thank you so much for having me, and looking forward to helping people.
Yes, let Dave Kohlmeier, the problem solver .Vegas, help you. Thank you for joining us here on the PJ's Pure Joy podcast in the Joy Lounge, and we look forward to seeing you for the next episode. Enjoy.
Pure joy.